welcome. Welcome. It's going to be the first in many installments of me answering your questions from the CNN 10 guides or other questions you have. If you have questions you want me to answer, different content or topic matters, hey, shoot me an email, put them in the CNN 10 tracker sheets, all that stuff. I'll answer them. Try to do this every Monday. And try to then get one out to you guys every Friday. It's not the same as being in class with each other, but I'm wearing a shirt and tie. I'm playing a guitar. Good stuff going on. Okay, let's roll through these. Ashton. Okay. Is there a cure yet for COVID-19 or for the coronavirus? As of right now, no. I don't know what the timeline on that is. Everything I've read is about 12 to 18 months. Certainly the best scientists and the best biological researchers and the best people in the medical field are working on this right now. But about 12 to 18 months. Again, hopefully it's on the 12-month side of things. That's a great question, Ashton. I hope you're doing well. It's weird because I started off class with you guys for like a week, and then all of a sudden, hey, the entire world fell apart. But the nice thing is that things will get back to normal at some point. And this leads into, Nate, your question. Or, yes, Nate P. Will our country go back to normal on June 1st, like the president said? Defines what normal is. A lot of things I've read about this is there's not going to be normal for a while. Now, I think we're going to go back to work much sooner than June 1st. At least I hope so. And as the recording of this is recorded on the 6th of April, 2020. The next 2 weeks are going to be kind of the real deciding weeks on this. That all the experts I've listened to, and I've read quite a bit about this now because there's nothing else to do, is the next 2 weeks are going to be kind of in theory, the worst. And if it's not as bad as people think, hey, then all of a sudden, okay, we're way ahead of this thing. If it's as bad as people think, maybe we're talking mid-May and stuff. We will certainly see. But what I say is normal is a real relative term because I think there's going to be a while even after the country opens back up where people are going to still social distance. I don't think you're going to see large events for a while, for a few months. That will take a little longer. Eventually we'll get back to normal. I just don't know how long that is. So June 1st might be too optimistic of a date. Nate C. How much money did Japan spend on the Olympics already? That is a great question. Had to research that one up for you. Almost $1 billion. So they've already, Japan's very heavily invested in the Olympics already. It was probably the right move to postpone the Olympics. Unfortunately, Japan now is out quite a bit of money. Great question, though. Ivan, when will we defeat the virus? Hopefully sooner than later. There's some really promising treatments out there. Chloroquine is one of them. This one called the Z-Pack, which is a zinc chloroquine combination. They've had some really promising results. There's a lot of good stuff going on right now in terms of the medical community, and we're playing catch up. There's no question about that. But we're making some really good strides, and so again, hopefully sooner than later. Emily, how you doing? Well, doing well. Okay. Good talk. Hopefully you are staying safe, washing your hands, doing all the things you should be doing. I trust that you are. Is the coronavirus ever going to get better? Yeah, for sure it is. If you look at China, which bunch of liars, but China, you look at Italy, Europe, you look at countries that have already got this, that it's already getting better over there in a few months. Right now, we're in the middle of the worst of it. And so it's going to seem like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But there is. Things are going to get better for sure. Could this be something where we experience every year? No, not to this extent. Once we have a cure and stuff, it's going to make things a lot easier. But again, we have some time. We have to wait for that. Will it get better? 100%. It's going to get better sooner than later. Don't worry about that. It's these next 2 weeks that are going to be kind of the worst, and then from there, it's going to start getting back to normal. Great question, though. Ashton, back for a second one. How did the coronavirus start? A lot of debate on that. Some people say it was from the meat markets in China, or the wet markets in China is where this started. A couple reports came out this week though, where maybe they were doing some testing on the coronavirus, not like as a weapon, but just like they're doing testing on it in China, and that it got out. Now we'll never be able to confirm that or not, but certainly that's a second theory out there. But there's not like a purposeful thing by the Chinese, at least as far as we know. Let's scroll down a little bit. How will they maintain the Olympic Village? Matthew, great question. I don't know if they can. They're going to put a lot of money into trying to maintain it, but it's tough. Like, it's going to be really tough to do. They're planning on having to spend a ton of money now to, like, redo a lot of stuff they already built once the Olympics are no longer postponed. Riley, are they going to allow people to be at the Olympics in person now? No clue. I've read a few things where they were talking about once they do open it back up, that they're not going to allow spectators in there, which would cost Japan millions upon millions of dollars. However, that might be the safe move to do. Right now, they have not made up that decision, though, but I think that's the direction they're going to go. Okay. Ooh, Emily, second great question. How is the corona infection rate going down when people keep getting corona? It's the percentage of people who are being affected daily. So, for example, the numbers of people, total infections, are going up each day, but the percentage is going down. So, for example, like, if from Monday to Tuesday, like, 100 new people got infected. Like, that's a huge percentage increase from 1 to 100. But let's say then from Monday to Tuesday, correction, let me flip that. From Monday to Tuesday, let's say you go from 1 person getting infected to 100 people getting infected. Like, that's a huge jump up, like, percentage-wise. Then let's say from Tuesday to Wednesday, only 10 people got infected. So the total number of infections is 10 more, so it's more, but the percentage of infection, the infection rate is going down. So that's what people mean by they say that. The infection rate is kind of what matters. Total number of infections, that's going to keep going up and up and up because each day there's going to be more people. It's like the infection rate is that we're looking at. And this weekend there's some promising numbers that might be going down, but again, fingers crossed. A lot of this is like fingers crossed stuff, which is weird. You hate living in a world like that, but what are most businesses going to do if they run out of money? Xavier, awesome question. They're not going to be business anymore. One of the things, like, and we're not at this point yet, so we should still do social distancing, all that stuff, but there will be a point in time where we do have to talk about what do we do to restart the economy, because you're going to have over potentially 67 million Americans who lose their jobs. With that comes a lot of unintended negative consequences that are not good. So we have to figure out a way how to keep those businesses still going. Right now, we don't have much. The hope is that in 2 weeks, that we will have beaten the worst of this and that we can open the country back up. And then in a month, couple months, that, hey, we're hopefully back to somewhat normal. It was business-wise. That's kind of best case scenario. Unfortunately, people in politics haven't really figured out a good answer for that right now. But Xavier, that's a great question. Riley, has coronavirus slowed down everywhere or just in New York? It depends. Like some areas like New Orleans, it's ramping up a little bit, but in other areas like New York, it's going down. It depends on the community. It depends on what they've done to prevent this. So a lot of things kind of going into this. It depends on, some communities are certainly seeing a slowdown. Some are seeing a speed up. Again, it's this 2-week window. It's going to be really interesting these next 2 weeks. If there's 2 weeks to pay attention to current events, it's these 2 weeks, because we're going to see all types of numbers, all types of expert opinions. They all could be right. They all could be wrong, but it sounds like university is saying the next 2 weeks are the 2 key weeks. If the numbers come in much lower than everyone thinks, hey, like we did it for the most part. If the numbers come in what our worst case scenario, okay, we're going to be social distancing and doing this maybe for a little while longer. But again, it's the next 2 weeks that are key. Brian, will we not go to school next year? No, we will go to school next year for sure. I hope, fingers crossed, we're going to go back to school this year. Again, Wisconsin's not going to be hit as hard as other states, so let's be optimistic about that. Matthew, another great question. How long will it take before cases decreases have increased? It's already starting to decrease a little bit percentage-wise, at least over the weekend. If those numbers hold, that's an awesome sign for us. But those numbers, they could fluctuate. So we have some lights at the end of the tunnel. It might not seem that way right now, but there's some good things going on. Hopefully, again, these next 2 weeks are going to be really going to be the key with this. Ethan, why are people freaking out so much? It's not that bad. The problem is misinformation. We don't know. This could be far worse than the flu. It could be the flu. It could be way more infectious than the flu. Like, we don't know, and because we don't know, the fear of the unknown drives a lot of panic sometimes. I do think because it's more infectious than the flu, at least it seems that way based upon evidence, and its mortality rate seems to be much higher than the flu, that's why people are reacting the way they are. That higher infection rate plus higher mortality rate. Again, 99.9% of the people who get this, I shouldn't say it. It's like 99% of the people who get this should be fine. But again, that 1% is still like, we need to protect those people. Second great question. Will these mask companies make work as doctors' masks? Yeah. So I guess that is like a good thing kind of coming out. So companies are stepping up and they are kind of using industry and stuff to help make more masks, ventilators, things like that. We still need a lot more, but we're moving in the right direction. And certainly once this is all said and done, there's going to be questions about why we weren't prepared or preparedness. This is not just a President Trump thing. It's a President Obama thing. It's a President George W. Bush thing. I think this is numerous presidents or politicians who failed to properly prepare us for this. And there'll be questions and there'll be answers later on. But right now, let's just get through this together. Finally, Nate, do masks really help prevent COVID-19? It sounds like it does. The CDC just came out end of last week saying that if you're in public, you should wear a mask. That's countered to information they gave us earlier this year. But it sounds like that's true. That is actually true. So, great job, guys. Keep working on the research project. After next week, I'll put it into like more of like a final copy thing. That's what I'm having you guys do the research. Please ask questions. Keep watching CNN 10, guys. This is not an ideal situation for any of us, but I'm very happy with the job you guys are doing. Keep up the good work. Please ask questions, even if it's not a CNN 10 question, if it's a history question or current events question. I'll try to do what I can to answer it. Okay? Until next time, stay safe, wash your hands,